Alright, this is my video for the graphics and rendering class week 2, assignment 2 homework. So the first problem is to render the 4-pointed star with different colors in each corner with this gradient towards the middle. That was simply just changing the color at each point and allowing the graphics engine to just create the gradient, the nice color interpolating towards the center. Problem 2 was to have all of the colors be distinct in each of the corners, and I did this effect when it loads by making 6 different triangles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and with overlapping vertices, and coloring them all individually. So these 3 corners were green, while these 3 corners were blue, and these 3, probably this way, 3 corners were yellow, even though there's 3 vertices right there. Problem 3. Problem 3 was to reorder the vertices and to have the project run. And as you can see in a moment, my project does run. There it is. I achieved this. Oh, where is it? There it is. Oh, that was a different spot. The spot that it took me the longest to find was this, the input layout. Once I restructured the data structure in the header, these 2, I had to switch these for the problem. There's some stuff down there that I had to change, but the input layout, which is now gone, great. Oh, this is unfortunate. Sorry, I don't want to. Here it is. Since the color and position had switched, I had to switch these 2 lines and then reset their alignment, because now color starts at byte 0 and position is the aligned element. So I switched them completely and then switched the 2 alignments. Problem 4. Was to implement the constant buffer for the 4-pointed star. All that was required was to on click to have it switch colors, which it does. I wanted to show it repeatedly, so I also added a mouse up update to the constant buffer, so I can demonstrate that multiple times without restarting the project. But on mouse down, it switches to red on the outside, yellow on the inside, and on mouse up, it just switches back. I just wanted to show it multiple times, and that was done by adding the constant buffer in the shader, editing the pixel shader so that it reads that int color data. So the whole vertex is passed through the vertex shader, and then that color data is read in the pixel shader, which also reads from the constant buffer, which is set up again somewhere down here. I would like to find it. That would probably be helpful. Here it is. So I set up the constant buffer here, assign the columns, set the sub resource, and then on mouse down, constant buffer, and on mouse up, constant buffer update. Great. So the further work, oh, actually, it would be helpful to go back to talk about it. So, the difference between shader constants and constant buffers is that constant buffers are where shader constants are written to. Constant buffers are buffers of data on the GPU, but so this constant buffer holds this shader constant. The shader constant is the data that is read and interpreted here. So I have my constant buffer and I have my where my shader constant is read into. Finally, for further work number 2, I had to explain why the altering the pixel shader doesn't affect the background, and as far as I could deduce, because the background is not rendered through the pixel shader, it's not rendered with vertices and interpolated and created in the same way that it never is run. The pixels in the background never run through the pixel shader, and so the effect doesn't go to the background. I, however, did I copied the background by making a by adding 4 vertices here and coloring them the same color as the background. So I do have so now I do have the pixel shader affecting the background as opposed to getting rid of these. Which should show the other version. Unless I messed it up. Yeah, there it is. Without the background being rendered. So that is my assignment 2 video. I will see you in class.